What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with the late night Friday edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I was on Tails and I found the analysis from my buddy DKDFS, getting us in the premium Discord over 5.5 assists there. It was even money when I was able to jump on it. I know some people, why did I just hit my chair? Anyway, plus 105, there were some people who were able to get in on that. That was nice. It was basically predicated around Tyrese Halliburton being out. He ended up being in, and it didn't matter. Nembhard was dishing it off to everybody. That was beautiful. Sometimes you get lucky, and then sometimes you get unlucky. I ended up on Kevin Durant late, where he just didn't even score a point in the fourth quarter. So that was brutality. Didn't check into like the 4-minute mark, and then didn't score against the Wizards. The Wizards covered for us, though, here on this video. So you're happy with me. I'm happy with myself because, well, I didn't get my ass handed to me here so far, but ended up on DeAndre Ayton over 11.5 and 12.5 points because that's a normal thing to be betting on a Thursday evening, but only 5 games that we had there. We have a lot more, 9 to break down here. I'm going to fly because we are recording much later than normal here, and producer Jacob is past his bedtime, and he's starting to get agitated. Actually, that's not true at all. I am. But we got promo code Lindy50. You guys check that out below, but we got a 14-hour day basically here in the books, 12 hours sitting at this desk because, not going to lie, I went and got lunch. Sorry about that. Guess I'm not working hard enough. No, that's not true. We're going to fly. We're going to get ourselves some great bets. I think there's some really good opportunities, including a lock on a total. Those are always the best because right now on the season, 6-1 on total locks. That's pretty good. That is a pretty darn good record. And then the likes have been very profitable as well. Again, the totals have been kind of a shining star out of the middle of nowhere this year. Let's keep it riding. So without further ado, producer Jacob, we'll talk about this later. Let's get to the picks. We begin our boarding walk here, Orlando at Boston. And sorry that Goga Bitadze got ruled out with an injury that wasn't even on the injury report. It was a hip. And then we end up finding out on Wednesday after I lock Orlando, because I'm like, well, the hip didn't see that bad. He went through shoot around. He got a concussion, and we still don't know when or why or how. I'm a little bit tilted by that. If anybody has information, please hit me up on X at Eric Lindquist. But he was never in concussion protocol. He didn't get hit in the head. I never saw anything about it. And yet that's where he is and will be out for Friday. It is so tilting when a guy who, again, is a 98th percentile defender, and then Wendell Carter just got tooled by Giannis. It was actually hilarious. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. But, I like making money. And, well, it ended up splitting the locks 1-1 on a day where, of course, I wouldn't have locked Orlando if I had known that he had been out. I was relying on him being in. That's the word that I'm looking for. But at least we can take advantage here on the other side, because I do think Boston minus 11.5. There's actually some rumblings. I'm not sure if anybody's aware. There's this tax thing going on with Boston trying to get sold. And there is so much heebie-jeebie, and I'm not sure what to make of it. I think it's kind of made up to a certain extent. I think most billionaires would love to invest in an NBA franchise and have the Boston Celtics and have tax issues with the contracts of Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, so on and so forth. So I think it's a little bit overhyped, but I like giving Jacob shit. That's what this really comes down to. And I like betting Boston minus 11.5. Normally, I involve Peyton Pritchard into this analysis, but he's coming off of an evisceration where we were over 10.5. They lost to Toronto, and it kind of worked in the inverse because he was the bright spot in a very dark, dim world north of the border. That was really, really weird. But you're going to see something 11.5, 12.5 here on Peyton Pritchard when that number opens. That's how this works. We want to buy low. We want to sell high. Buy low, sell high. Help me help you. And then Boston, I have this more like 13.5 because, again, Wendell Carter and Jonathan Isaac. Good luck against Zinger. He's starting to get it going. This will be quick. Minnesota, New York. There is some injury news in this one. Dante DiVincenzo, who had his game of the season against the Golden State Warriors. Complete evisceration was the, again, bright spot in a dark world. We got nothing. Absolutely nothing out of anybody else. And that includes, we ended up getting what? He had a garbage time 3 to make it look a little bit better, had 28 points there. But if you watched the game, which I unfortunately did, he was 7 for 19 from the field. He had 5 turnovers. He's been turning over the ball a lot. He faced Memphis, Washington, Golden State, 6, 7, 5 turnovers. Starting to be a little bit frustrating. He averages just 3.3 Obviously, he's playing with the ball more in his hands, and 39, 36, 41 minutes, that's higher than his 36 that he's averaging here on the season, 36.3 if we're being exact. But no Dante DiVincenzo for this game here tonight, and that is a little bit freaky going into the Garden. I was expecting him, revenge in his heart, getting ready to rock, but apparently it's a left great toe sprain. Not great for me. As a fan, that is. Karl-Anthony Towns, though, is questionable on the other side of this one, and I'm curious what we get in terms of minutes. Yeah, not for the one former Knick, but for the other former Knick, that being Julius Randle, who's the bane of my existence. And yes, I'm getting trolled every single day by producer Jacob. That's the second straight segment that I have to bring him up because he's just making me mad today. It was all that picture. Julius Randle, 20-plus points back in the Garden. I get it. He's been getting benched a lot for Naz Reid at times, but you need a little bit more offense out on the floor here in closing situations. I think coming off of just 27 minutes against Golden State, we might see a lower number here. Plus, Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm hoping he's in for this number. I'm really hoping he's in because, again, defensively, not what Cat is known for. Denver at Miami, and Miami. We had so many spreads that we were waiting on tonight. So many spreads. And here's the thing. If there's like one or two of them that are missing, yeah, I'll still record a little bit early and, talk you through the nuances of everything. We had 3 of 9 at like 10 p.m. Eastern time. That is not great. Actually, it was a little bit earlier than that. I'm not going to lie to you. It's like 9:30 Eastern time. And then they all showed up at once. It was beautiful. But Denver at Miami, you know why we don't have the line here? Because Nikola Jokic is questionable. We're talking about the most impactful player in the entire National Basketball Association. We also have Aaron Gordon, who played like 15 minutes his first 2 back. Yeah, him questionable too matters because even 15 minutes of Aaron Gordon doesn't exactly suck. One of the more defensively centric, sound basketball players. He's very highly paid here in this Denver system. Sorry, it was 18 minutes in both of those two. I knew when it came out of my mouth that it was incorrect. Always got to fact check yourself. I would make a poor politician. Anyway, we got Miami on the other side of this one. Shout out to the GOAT. Tyler Hero. I can't believe I'm saying that because I don't really even think he's like a good real-life basketball player. But Terry Rozier, Jimmy Butler, potentially off the injury report, possibly out of suspension. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. There's a lot of weird stuff, a lot of weird rumbling going around Miami. But even if Butler ends up in this game, again, he had a 7-game suspension. He's available to return, but I doubt he does. And so there's so much weirdness. Jokic and Butler, basically big question marks all the way around in this one. I'll just say Tyler Hero infinity points because to infinity and beyond, he makes me happy. And if you get Butler off the floor, 26% usage goes to like 27.5%. If you get, those minutes where it staggers him and Bam, you get to 29% usage. And it's been closer to 32% usage here in recent games. And he's making everything. And not coming around on him. I still think he's a terrible defender, not who we want to come playoff time. But Miami, very curious to see how this one shakes out. Don't get too aggressive with anything. Speaking of aggressive, we have correctly pinpointed some triple doubles here of late, and it's a little bit tilting because you look at X and, I'm just a small fish in a very, very large pond out there in X, but yeah, people are ripping off your analysis. This isn't exactly enjoyable. It's really not. Literally like verbatim, all the points that I made on Kyle Kerm's show, and then all the points that I put in writing about he does a lot of triple doubles very, very frequently, but about Giannis triple doubles ended up being like all the written stuff put into a very famous Twitter account, and it was very frustrating. And yeah, of course, he ends up hitting it plus 800 again for the people, but whatever. It comes down to the fact that I was here first. It's like the most childish you're ever going to hear me, but it is what it is, friends. I'm trying to get analysis to all of the people, and I want to have all of the people be able to tail, and I want to be able to do this long-term for the people and for myself. And part of that is just, claiming what is yours. But anyway, Toronto, 11.5. That is at Milwaukee. A little bit weird here with this one, purely because Chris Middleton, yeah, only 21 minutes last time out, but that was purely because of blowout. And Giannis basically triple-double in 3 quarters. Well done by him. But I will repeat this, when Middleton's off the floor, which he's now coming off the bench, we have seen Giannis triple-doubles way too high of prices. Way too high of prices. You're looking... it was plus 1,400 against Orlando. That's a completely different ball of wax. Again, you can't necessarily look 1-for-1 here in terms of the splits and what he just did last game. And we'll talk about that coming a little bit later. Don't have rose-colored glasses about something that just happened. But 26, 11, and 4 he had against Orlando. They blew him out of the water just 30 minutes. Against Sacramento, though, 33, 13, 11. Felt pretty good about that read purely because with Middleton off the bench, you're looking at more minutes where they're going to be staggering. They don't play that first 4, 5, 6-minute rotation of the first and third quarter together. And in those situations, Giannis, 36% assist rate to Damian Lillard's 32% assist rate. I can't repeat this enough purely because people are going to rip it off anyway, so it doesn't matter. 36% assist rate for Giannis, 32 for Dame. I'm going to look at 5.5, 6.5, 7.5. We're going to look at the assist props, but I just wanted to have... Again, I was here first. Giannis triple-double. We called it out of the stratosphere the other day on Kyle Kerm's show. And yes, looking at running it back here on Friday, just like everybody else, he did it like 2 days ago. In control. Lindy 50 down at the link below, friends. What does that get you? Well, normally my Discord is $20 for your first week, $50 for your first month. But au contraire, my friends, Lindy 50 gets it to you for $10 your first week, or you could opt for $25 for your first month. What does that get you? Well, gets you personal access to me to ask me questions, whether that be pick'em related, prop related, total related, spread related, process related, movie related, whatever you prefer, friends. Whatever your heart desires, sign up down at that link below. You can jump into the Discord and ask me questions, but that's not it. You'll get direct notifications whenever my bets go live. If you download the OddsShopper app, you go to Tails and you just turn on notifications. Whenever I post, as soon as my bet goes through, you will get those bets sent directly to your phone. So sign up, Lindy50 at the link below. Would love to see you there. And trust me, there's definitely some sharp people out there hanging out. Jay Dollar Sign been throwing out some good bets here in recent weeks. Really appreciate everybody for all of the continuity. And yeah, we got rid of the weirdos, so that was fun too. Lindy50, back to the picks we go. The weirdest thing about having a Discord is definitely when you get that one person every month where they're just like posting shirtless pictures, and I wish I were joking you, and I wish they were female. But anyway, Utah +9 taking on New Orleans. Oh boy, we're going to start a couple of totals. We have 3 totals that exist on the card that are plays and bets already. This is my second favorite of them, and obviously it's just going to go in the light category. We got a Pelicans team that if DeJounte Murray is starting to shoot the ball better, we're going to see that pace, no treble, and we're going to see offensive rating go up, up, up. Now, who else is there? Zion Williamson. He is a lot better at the old offense than, I don't know, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. You know how brutal it must be to be a Pelicans fan this season, knowing that you had Zion, Brandon Ingram, DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, who's probably been the best of everybody, and CJ McCollum, and you never really got all 5 starting on the floor. You still don't. Brandon Ingram, out. He's coming close. He's coming close to being back. And DeJounte Murray, he did get dinged on the elbow. He is good to go in this one unless, one of those things just get ruled out from the shadow realm. It happens from time to time. Plus, Herb Jones is out for this one. I think we know by now I like his defense, but I'm happy he's not here today because I want offense. 227.5. We get Walker Kessler off the floor. He is out for the Utah Jazz. Their defensive rating, their rebounding is non-existent. You're going to get more than likely a starting Drew Eubanks, Kyle Filipowski, Cody Williams, Colin Sexton, Keontae George. This is brutality. Lauri Markkanen out. Yes, that hurts offense. Micah Potter, Jordan Clarkson, John Collins. Who else is out? Everybody. But Colin Sexton's back. This should be an offensive showcase, and I can't believe the total's at just 227.5 when I have this at 230 and change. 230.9 to be exact, so closer to 231. Should have just led with 231. I like it. It's a half-unit play. It's going to get bet up. I'm going to be one of the people doing that, so join me. I already did that. I'm just saying maybe I double dip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Just if it gets to 236, going to have to. That'd be silliness. It's not going to. Charlotte +5.5 taking on Chicago here in this one. Speaking of pace, hi, how are you this fine day? Chicago, 104.5 possessions per 48 minutes. You're kind of looking at some weird stuff here with the Charlotte side because I assumed that they would just be in the top 15, top 20 of pace blindly. No, they're at 22nd, but I got to throw this out for you. They're 29th in adjusted defensive rating. That is not what you are looking for. These are not the droids that you are looking for. So as we break things down here, LaMelo Ball chucking it around here. Chuck around, yeah. That's a weird song. I don't really want to sing it. We've got ourselves, though, a question mark in Brandon Miller, a question mark in Josh Giddey, a question mark in Taylor Horton-Tucker, and a question mark in Musa Diabate. Now, Mark Williams was an absolute GOAT in the premium Discord. We ended up heavy on the 22.5 points plus rebounds. That felt very nice, actually. Wish I had bet even more on that, that's for sure. But I had some pickup cards involving it too. Had the bet, had everything, felt good. Let's fire something up there if Mark Williams has that similar number here against Fooch and family. But in the meantime, this is a low number, 233. I've got it closer to 236.5. That is a play every day and once on Friday. That's the day that it is. Oklahoma City taking on Dallas. This should be a fun one. OKC just ran Cleveland out of the gym. And Evan Mobley not being able to be out there in certain lineups, that was weird. Like OKC, no Hardenstein, no problem. Oh my dear God. But this is a little bit more of a problem here. One, you're on the back-to-back. Two, you're taking on a Dallas team that does have a Daniel Gafford and somebody who can cause some havoc. Three, you're on the road here on the back-to-back. Four, well, I don't know. It's just one of those spots where I'm still going to be leaning towards the OKC side. But let's take a look at something else here, because I do think Oklahoma City, over the course of the last 2 years, if you had to poke one hole in them come playoff time, especially this year, it's something they've shored up with Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein if they're going to be on the floor together, which we still haven't seen. It's called rebounding. They're going to be very, very bad at it here against a Dallas team that has PJ Washington, who, again, not known for his rebounding by any means, but you get Najee Marshall out there for minutes, a guy who, on a rebound basis, 3.4 per game, but that's in a 24-minute average. You inflate that to 36. He's averaging north of 5 rebounds a game. And then the biggie, Daniel frickin' Gafford. 6 rebounds per game, but averaging less than 20 minutes per game. You adjust that to 30, you're looking at around 9. And I repeat, this is an Oklahoma City team that by design doesn't really go and try to rebound all that much. I know that seems like a weird thing to say, but I've said it for a while because it's true. We're talking about one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA over the course of a long sample size, and now they're missing the one guy that they went out into free agency to try to shore up that issue. Now, Jalen Williams got in some foul trouble today. They also went small to push things on the Cleveland side, and boy, did that work. I don't know if it works as well here, so I'm trying to figure out exactly where I land on this one. Also, with the Kyrie tag hanging, I would love to be on Oklahoma -6 if I knew Kyrie was out, but I think it's truly like 50-50 in this spot. I don't have a great feel for it. I'm going to track some lines, but it is a back issue, and that always freaks me out, especially when you're playing a good team that got rest in the fourth quarter because, again, they beat Cleveland by infinity. We got Oklahoma City. We got Daniel Gafford, double. Now you can't change it, producer Jacob. Double. That's beautiful. To Memphis in San Antonio, just saying it's a good time to be alive when you run into a play like this. And yeah, Memphis at San Antonio. I tried to get this out as fast as humanly possible when I updated my sheet on this end for this game. It usually takes me about 15-20 minutes to like simulate all the games, the process that I have, put in my custom minutes into add more funds, plug it into an Excel spreadsheet. And again, the simulation, the beautiful part about coming from a DFS, a daily fantasy sports background into betting is that simulations were always a big part of what I did. Always tried to like say, hey, with these players on the floor, these players off the floor, how does the complexion of a basketball change? How does, a player's salary in DFS, you're just looking at fantasy point per minute rates. Well, how does it change the complexion of a Memphis team? We have maybe the biggest Q tag on my betting board here today on Friday in this game, and it exists with Ja Morant. We're talking about insane splits with him on and off the floor, and it shouldn't surprise anybody. You watch Ja Morant play basketball one time, and you're like, that guy doesn't stop running. He is jumping over Wemby, doing throwdown dunks, which was like the coolest non-dunk anybody's ever going to see. There've been some other cool ones, if we're going to be honest, but like in-game dunks over 7'4" dudes are not what you're expecting a 6'1", 6'2" Ja Morant to go out there and do. I think he's only like that tall. But anyway, the whole point here is that this total is way, way, way too high. Now, there's recency bias, and then there's this. You had a 238.5 total for this game last time around the block. Talked about it. Talked about the under potentially. Didn't end up on anything there. And now we get a 2-point inflated number. And the circumstances have changed as such. They're playing the same team back-to-back in the same arena. And you have a bigger Q tag here than you did before in Ja Morant, where if you get him off the floor, the offensive rating for this team goes down, down, down. I simulate this out at 232 if you have Ja Morant off the floor. I have it at 234.5 if you have him on the floor. You know what that's not? 240.5 here in this spot. It is an outrageously large total, in my opinion. And again, we have been so spot on, 6-1 so far this season on totals that I've locked. One full unit on each one of those, 6-1, nearly 5 units that we have won on these in the lock department. Hoping we make that 7-1 here, because this under 240.5 is my favorite play of the day, and it's not remotely close. I repeat, 232 on the aggregate. I'm closer to like that 234 number, 236. Like, it is an unbelievably advantageous play. So jump on. Hopefully Ja takes the day off. What was the injury again? I got to read it off one more time for the people. It is right foot soreness, as it's listed on the injury report. That, friends, is a great opportunity for us to jam this under before it is too late. And before it's, again, I would bet it down to like 237.5. And our last play of the night, let's get the heck up out of here. Brooklyn, 12.5 going up against the Lakers. Does D'Angelo Russell, who is off the injury report, have revenge in his heart? We shall find out, my friends. But even though he is off the injury report, he's more than likely coming off the bench. You got Ben Simmons off the injury report himself. I assume he goes back to starting duty in Brooklyn. It was 90-38 watching that Clippers game. They end up winning by infinity. They had them doubled up after the third quarter, like 102-51, I think it was. But Kawhi Leonard was awesome to watch, so I couldn't turn the game off. I love sports. I love ball. I love basketball especially. But Cam Johnson, huge Q tag in this one, but you might know this by now. Austin Reeves is out there distributing. LeBron James is out there distributing. Now, Anthony Davis has been the main catalyst for a lot of that usage here, but I've pointed out that Max Christie, while he's out there for defensive purposes, has started to take on a little bit more of that usage here of late. And I really do like this piece for the Los Angeles Lakers. Do I think they're contenders in its current iteration right now? No, but he's been assertive. He's scored double figures in 4 consecutive, and his points prop's been constantly 8.5 or 9.5. Maybe this is the day that it shifts to 10.5 at open. If it's at 9.5, though, inside of minus 120, this is a play. But it's going to be a lean for now. Max Christie, 10+ points. Lots to renegotiate in the prop department. Probably will throw a thread out for the people there on X on Friday. Let's go get some money, honey. It's going to be a great day there with 3 totals on this card. This is wild times, but Max Christie, 10+ points. I think this is another interesting opportunity in Brooklyn. My God. Nice job, guys. Enjoy. Hopefully they went out on Thursday night in LA. That does it for another week in the books of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks in the NBA streets. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely slate we have before us. We got 4 games for the divisional round that I'm going to be breaking down on Friday. That video will be out there in plenty of time to get your bets in. Can't wait for Baltimore Buffalo on Sunday night. Oh, get your popcorn ready, fam. Mwah. It's going to be a beautiful time to be alive. Check out Lindy50. Jump in the Discord. Again, direct access to me. Around the clock. I'm in there way too much, but you know what? My wife, she loves me still. We got ourselves lots of opportunity to make money and throwing in pick'em cards, throwing in bets, updated bets, all the day of stuff that isn't always on this video. And that is the best part about it, is I get the entire afternoon with all the injury craziness that's been going on in the NBA to help you make some money too. Thank you, producer Jacob. Let's get the heck up out of here. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Friday.